Most people spend their entire lives trying to force success through effort, pressure, and endless struggle. But what if the greatest secret of manifestation was never a physical effort alone? What if Jesus understood a hidden spiritual law capable of aligning reality itself toward abundance, authority, and favor? Ancient Aramaic traditions speak of a forgotten verb known as a vibration connected to completion, prosperity, harmony, and divine fulfillment. Tonight, you are about to uncover how this ancient frequency was believed to reshape the mind, dissolve resistance, and open invisible doors that ordinary people never even realize exist. Humanity has been conditioned to believe success comes only through exhaustion, competition, and survival. From childhood, people are taught to chase approval, wealth, and recognition while remaining disconnected from the spiritual architecture of reality itself. But Jesus taught a completely different understanding of abundance. He understood that external conditions were reflections of inner alignment. In the Aramaic worldview, reality responds to consciousness long before it responds to physical action. This is why the Master constantly emphasized inner transformation before outward manifestation. One of the hidden keys connected to this teaching is the word shamanuta. Though difficult to translate perfectly into modern language, its vibration carries meanings related to completion, fulfillment, harmony, prosperity, and successful alignment with divine order. Ancient seekers believed Jesus used frequencies like shamanuta, not as magical formulas, but as spiritual states capable of reorganizing the human mind toward divine coherence. When the mind becomes internally divided, success becomes fragmented. But when consciousness enters harmony, reality itself begins shifting. This explains why many people sabotage opportunities without realizing it. Fear creates contradiction. Doubt creates energetic resistance. Anxiety pulls the mind into fragmentation. But Jesus taught that the kingdom of heaven begins within because he understood manifestation begins with internal agreement. The vibration of shamanuta represented a state where thought, emotion, and spirit moved together instead of against each other. Ancient Aramaic mystics believe the universe naturally flows toward order when consciousness stops resisting divine alignment. This is why the Master often appeared calm, even in impossible situations. He was operating from inner completion rather than emotional panic. While others saw limitation, he perceived invisible potential, already moving beneath physical reality. The tragedy is that most people spend years speaking failure over themselves without noticing it. Every fearful thought becomes a silent command shaping emotional reality. Jesus understood that language carries spiritual architecture. Words either reinforce chaos or strengthen alignment. The ancient frequency of shamanuta was believed to restore the soul's agreement with divine abundance itself. Understanding these frequencies is the first step, but mastering their vibration in your daily life is where the true miracle happens. I receive many messages asking for the correct pronunciation and sequence of these sounds, so I have prepared 2 sacred guides to help you bridge this gap. You can find the link pinned in the comments to begin your practical journey today. The greatest obstacle blocking success is not lack of opportunity. It is internal contradiction. Many people say they desire abundance while unconsciously vibrating fear, guilt, scarcity, and emotional exhaustion. Ancient Aramaic teachings understood that the soul cannot fully receive what the mind secretly resists. This is why Jesus focused so intensely on inner renewal. He understood that transformation begins by changing the spiritual atmosphere within consciousness itself. The vibration of shamanuta was connected to the restoration of inner order. Ancient seekers believed this frequency dissolved fragmentation inside the human spirit. When thoughts become divided, energy becomes weak. But when the soul enters coherence, external movement begins accelerating naturally. This is why some people seem to attract opportunities effortlessly, while others remain trapped in cycles of struggle despite constant effort. Another important Aramaic word connected to this process is shlama, while often translated as peace. Its deeper meaning refers to complete wholeness, where nothing is missing and nothing is broken. Jesus constantly operated from shlama because he understood success cannot sustainably emerge from internal chaos. A fearful mind creates fearful outcomes, but a mind rooted in spiritual wholeness begins attracting alignment instead of resistance. The Master also taught that obsession with external validation weakens spiritual authority. Many people pursue success not from divine purpose, but from insecurity and comparison. Ancient Aramaic wisdom warned that envy disconnects the soul from abundance because consciousness becomes trapped in lack. Jesus redirected attention away from competition and toward divine alignment. He understood that every soul carries a unique path already prepared within the unseen architecture of creation. The forgotten power of shamanuta was not merely about money or status. It represented the restoration of divine flow within the human being. Once the soul reconnects with this current, opportunities begin appearing in unexpected ways. Relationships shift. Clarity increases. Fear loses influence. Reality itself starts responding differently because consciousness has entered harmony instead of resistance. If this teaching is stirring a deep resonance in your heart, it is a sign that your soul is ready to return to its original blueprint. To support you in this transition, my guides explain the layers of meaning behind the first sacred words, offering you a path to clear the interference of the world. The link to access these tools is waiting for you in the pinned comment. One of the deepest misunderstandings about success is the belief that the universe responds only to visible action. But ancient Aramaic teachings surrounding Jesus suggested something far more mysterious. They taught that unseen spiritual agreement precedes physical manifestation. Before external doors open, internal resistance must dissolve. This is why many people work tirelessly yet remain emotionally exhausted and spiritually blocked. The issue is often not effort, but energetic contradiction. The word ruka reveals another layer of this forgotten wisdom. Commonly translated as spirit or breath, ruka refers to the living force moving through creation itself. Jesus understood that human beings constantly project spiritual atmosphere through thought, emotion, and speech. Fear weakens this atmosphere. Bitterness distorts it, but alignment strengthens it. Ancient seekers believed the vibration of shamanuta harmonized the human spirit with the movement of divine order flowing through the universe. This explains why the Master repeatedly withdrew into silence before major moments of transformation. Silence was not emptiness. It was recalibration. In silence, internal noise loses control over perception. Most people remain trapped in mental static so intense they cannot perceive divine direction, even when opportunities stand directly before them. But Jesus cultivated inner stillness because stillness restores spiritual clarity. The Aramaic word imit also played a powerful role in manifestation. Though translated as truth, its deeper meaning refers to stability rooted in divine reality. False beliefs create energetic confusion. When a person secretly believes they are unworthy of abundance, the soul begins resisting success unconsciously. But Amet dissolves illusion by reconnecting consciousness to spiritual truth. This is why the Master constantly challenged limiting beliefs. He understood that many forms of suffering begin inside perception itself. Ancient wisdom taught that once the soul aligns with truth, external movement accelerates naturally, because resistance begins collapsing from within. The forgotten current of shamanuta was believed to restore this alignment between spirit, thought, and divine purpose. The universe responds differently to a soul operating from fear than to one operating from spiritual coherence. Jesus understood this deeply. He knew success was not merely achieved. It was allowed through alignment with divine flow. There is a reason some people repeatedly encounter closed doors, while others seem guided toward unexpected opportunities. Ancient Aramaic teachings believed the human spirit broadcasts invisible frequencies shaping emotional reality long before physical results appear. Jesus understood this principle completely. He taught that the condition of the inner world eventually becomes visible in the outer world. Chaos within eventually creates chaos without, but divine alignment changes the entire trajectory of a person's life. The Aramaic word Nura carries the meaning of divine light and awakened awareness. Ancient seekers believed success required more than ambition. It required illumination. Many people remain trapped because they cannot clearly perceive the patterns controlling their decisions. Fear disguises itself as caution. Doubt disguises itself as logic. But Nora exposes hidden limitations operating beneath consciousness. This is why Jesus often spoke about eyes that cannot see and ears that cannot hear. He was describing spiritual blindness created by fear, distraction, and emotional conditioning. The vibration of shamanuta was believed to dissolve this blindness by restoring harmony between the soul and divine perception. Once awareness expands, opportunities previously invisible begin appearing naturally. Another powerful word connected to success is malkuta, meaning kingdom or divine realm. Jesus repeatedly taught people to seek the kingdom first because he understood external abundance flows from spiritual alignment rather than desperate pursuit. The kingdom was not a distant place. It was a state of consciousness governed by divine order instead of emotional survival. Most people chase success while internally expecting failure. They speak hope outwardly, while silently repeating fear internally. This contradiction weakens manifestation. Ancient Aramaic wisdom taught that reality responds more strongly to subconscious vibration than surface-level desire. The Master understood this. He consistently redirected attention toward inner transformation, because transformed consciousness changes perception, behavior, and ultimately destiny itself. The hidden force of shamanuta represented more than personal achievement. It symbolized spiritual congruence, where the soul stops fighting against divine movement. Once this alignment occurs, struggle begins losing control over the mind. Opportunities become clearer. Fear loses authority, and life begins moving with a flow many people mistake for luck, even though it is actually alignment. The final mystery surrounding shamanuta involves the power of spoken vibration itself. Ancient Aramaic teachings believed words were not passive sounds. They were carriers of spiritual force capable of shaping emotional reality. Jesus understood this deeply. He spoke with extraordinary precision because he knew language either strengthens alignment or reinforces limitation. Every repeated thought becomes an internal agreement, shaping the direction of consciousness. The sacred Aramaic word milta, means word, command, or living expression, but its deeper meaning points toward speech infused with divine authority. Ancient seekers believed Jesus used Milta to transform emotional atmospheres before physical conditions even changed. He understood the human mind begins reorganizing reality according to the dominant vibration it repeatedly accepts as truth. This explains why negative self-talk becomes spiritually destructive over time. Many people unknowingly declare failure over their future every day. They repeat fear, insecurity, and limitation until the subconscious mind begins accepting these patterns as reality. But the Master taught the opposite principle. He spoke life where others spoke defeat. He saw abundance where others saw scarcity. He operated from spiritual certainty instead of emotional reaction. Another powerful word linked to manifestation is Amen. Most people see it only as the ending of prayer, but ancient understanding viewed it as spiritual confirmation and energetic establishment. When Jesus declared Amen, he was sealing alignment into consciousness itself. Ancient mystics believed spoken certainty strengthens manifestation because the soul stops vibrating in contradiction. The forgotten current of shamanuta worked in harmony with this principle. Once the soul stops speaking against itself, internal resistance begins collapsing. Fear weakens. Clarity increases. The human spirit regains momentum toward divine purpose. This is why the Master constantly emphasized faith, awareness, and speech. He understood the soul follows the direction of its strongest repeated vibration. The ancient Aramaic teachings reveal that success was never meant to emerge from panic or exhaustion alone. It was designed to flow from alignment between consciousness and divine order. Isayache Aile me utea represented this sacred harmony, where the soul stops resisting abundance and begins moving with the current of creation itself. We are just scratching the surface of this ancient power. Get ready, because in our next video, I will reveal even deeper Aramaic codes that unlock spiritual authority you've never imagined. Make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on so you don't miss this unfolding revelation. The hidden Aramaic verb shamanuta reveals a forgotten understanding about success, abundance, and spiritual authority. Jesus taught that transformation begins within consciousness long before it appears in physical reality. Through alignment, awareness, sacred speech, and inner harmony, the soul becomes capable of moving with divine flow instead of against it. Words like shlama, ruka, nora, and milta reveal different dimensions of this ancient teaching. They show that success is not only material achievement, but the restoration of inner coherence, where fear no longer dominates the spirit. Once the soul stops vibrating in contradiction, external life begins reorganizing around higher alignment. The teachings of Jesus remind us that reality responds not only to action, but also to belief, emotion, and spiritual atmosphere. Every repeated thought becomes a signal. Every spoken word becomes an agreement. Every emotional pattern either strengthens resistance or deepens alignment with divine order. The forgotten current of shamanuta was believed to reconnect the human being with this sacred harmony, not through superstition, but through awakened consciousness operating in truth instead of fear. This was the hidden power behind the calm authority of the Master. He moved through life aligned with divine coherence, while others remained trapped in emotional fragmentation. Visit Divine Light Academy at the link below to access my complete guides and start your journey into the living language of the Masters. But before you go, I want to hear from you. What did you feel during this session? Comment the word restoration below if you felt a shift in your energy today. We read every response, and your testimony strengthens this entire community of light. Right now, before you close this video, come to the comments and tell us, what did you feel? What shifted? We read every single response. And if this teaching found you today, subscribe to this channel. Every week, we go deeper into the ancient frequency codes that were always meant to be yours.